Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rachah Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. This is pretty much just, an announcement concerning GMSTrinidad. And pretty much, I had got some reports from the brother Malaka Muth out of the New York camp that he had to kick a couple of brothers out from GMSTrinidad because they were teaching contrary to the doctrine that was taught to them. And it was concerning the new moon and the Sabbath. Now, I was going to do a video on it this morning because Elder Apostle Tar wanted me to do a video on it, but I really didn't know all the particulars about it. So I called the brother this morning and talked with him, and apparently it's more than just two guys. It was I guess it was like 10 guys from two different camps out there in Trinidad. So I asked him to do a lesson on it, but he said his phone, he had to send it out, so he really can't do any videos on his phones because he's it's getting fixed. So I was trying to find out if he could do a video with somebody else, just to get something out there so I could post on the channel, just to give a clearer understanding of what's going on, seeing that I didn't have every little particular detail. So he said what he would do is he would call the head of the Trinidad camp to do a video on it. So I told him, look, just have the brother, if he does do that, just tell him to make it concise, don't make it too long and have to be too detailed. Just give an account of what happened, what took place, who's involved, and that's that. Because at the end of the day, here it is, all these prophecies are popping off and guys are starting to bug out, but this is part of what's going to happen, and no one is to be all dismayed, oh, this brother's falling out there. Look, at the end of the day, this is just something that has to go down. You have men that crept in unawares. You have seducing spirits out there that's getting in brothers' minds and making them think different things, and they're switching and changing the doctrine. That happened before many times. You brothers that have been around for a while have witnessed it. What's going on. But I'm just going to read a couple of precepts and close this out because, like I said, I don't really know every little detail. So once the brother uploads the video and sends it to Malaka Muth, he'll send it to me, and I will post it on his channel for an update to brothers, of what's going on out there in Trinidad. Galatians 1:6, I marvel that you are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Yahushua unto another gospel, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Yahushua. And the thing is, look, if you're a part of Great Millstone and you don't agree with something that's being taught, then just leave and take the name Great Millstone off your name. Because obviously your whatever doctrine you're trying to push is not, you can't get it off on your own. So you got to use a platform that's already created to push your bullshit. So just take your stuff and just move on. Go somewhere else. Start your own thing and get your own followers. But it's just like demons, like the demons that they are. They need a platform, because they can't start their own thing. They have to build on another man's foundation, just like those flunkies from the ISUPK who took those brothers' corners. And from what I understand, them dudes ain't even been out there. Here it is, they did all this hoop, this back and forth, jumping and yelling and getting themselves all pumped up. For 3 brothers, mind you. A whole bunch of them look like a bunch of linebackers. They had to get all pumped up and yell just to get 3 brothers off of that corner that they wanted. A bunch of goons. But they have to have a platform pretty much to take over because they can't start their shit. They're just like them so-called, I'm the so-called Jays, because if you say the J word, they're gonna take the video down. They're parasites. They feast off of others. They are not creative, so they have to steal others' creativity to make money off of it. This is the book of 1 Timothy 1:18. This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare, holding faith and a good conscience, which some having put away concerning faith have made shipwreck. Yeah, because there's a reason why it says hold faith and a good conscience, because some with faith are going to give that faith up. So it says with a good conscience, because this is the key. The holding of the faith is the key, because faith mingled with the word is the true recipe for deliverance. It says, which some having put away what? Faith. Concerning faith have made shipwreck. So they became shipwrecked. They lost, whatever sense of faith they had, they lost it. It was like they was in a car crash. Now a jail or now a gale to suffer shipwreck. And you know what happens when you suffer shipwreck? Your boat sinks, because you have that leaky boat, leaky vessel. So it says, of whom is Hymenaeus and Alexander, whom I have delivered unto Satan, that they may learn not to blaspheme. So what's happening is you have individuals that don't agree with the doctrine, but they'll just use the platform to try to get their bullshit off. That's what Egghead was doing. Egghead had a problem with everything. Everything that was taught, well, he had a glamactic, that's a inside joke. He had a glamactic breakdown for it, and he was trying to push his shit. He wasn't going to be deprived. He was going to push his shit no matter what. He was going to come whatever way he had to come to try to get his bullshit in there. And guess what happened? The Lord got rid of his monkey ass. And this was happening. So I'm going to give you a couple more precepts and then I'm going to close out. Like I said, I don't really want to make this too long because I don't really know any particulars or any deep details. So I want to let the brother speak and say what he got to say. But this is 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Now these guys that say that the new moon and the way we keep the Sabbath with the new moons is not biblical, the new moon is in the scriptures. The month is called after the moon. That's in the scriptures. The new moon being a Sabbath, that's in the scriptures. But Friday, Saturday, sundown being a Sabbath is not in the scriptures, and the cycle of the calendar is totally off from Julius all the way to Pope Gregory all the way up until now. It has not been a consistent day that has been able to be kept, for the Sabbath, because there were a lot of breaks. There were days that were taken out. There was days that were added. There were years or months or whatever the case was that were taken away and added. So it's impossible for them to continue that cycle from back then. This is why the scriptures say we're rehearsing the righteous acts, and we believe through faith that we are keeping the Sabbath properly according to the new moon. Everything lines up perfectly. But if you don't, the scriptures say, judge no man according to the new moon, or Sabbath day. You want to keep it the way you keep it, then fine. But a lot of those other individuals that's keeping the Sabbath the way they're keeping it is not scriptural. You can't find it in the scriptures. They say, every 7 day. Yeah, but how do you know that it falls on Friday night, Saturday night? That's not in the scriptures. But if you want to keep it that way, hey, by all means. But it doesn't have any place here. The scripture said we're supposed to speak the same thing. The last precept I'm going to leave you with is Titus 3:9, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. A man that is a heretic after the first and second admonition reject, knowing that he that is such is subverted and sinneth, being condemned of himself. So pretty much, those guys, they're not affiliated with this. There will be more particulars, in exactly who and what, when a brother does the video, which I will upload here, Lord's will. And then, just take it from there. The word for subverted is extrefo, which means to turn or twist out, tear up, to turn inside out, invert, to change for the worse, pervert, corrupt. And these guys don't understand. Once you start changing one thing, that opens up doors for other things to change. Just like when Nazariah and Egghead from Detroit, started changing things in the doctrine, what happened? At first they were out there, they were on fire. They were, you couldn't say nothing. People were like, yeah, see, they left GMS and they're prospering. They. But slowly but surely, it's that fire started going out, and then the more changes that came in to the doctrine, the less fire they had. Until what happened, it just turned into a puff of smoke, and that puff of smoke stayed around for a little while. But guess what? The puff of smoke eventually started to fade away. And that's what happened. And now you notice you don't see nothing from them guys. Because the Lord took the spirit from them. And that's why King David said, take not thy Holy Spirit away from me, but renew a right spirit within me. You see? Yep, that's right, brother. They were the foolish virgins. And that's that's why the scriptures touch on everything. They touch on everything. The foolish virgins have no oil in their lamps. And the ones that did have a semblance of oil, this is what happened to them. Let's go real quick to Proverbs 21. Because you could have like a little residue and then turn the lamp on, but guess what? That lamp is going to quickly turn off. Proverbs 21 and 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. That's not the one, but that's a good one. That's not the one, but that's a good one. Right here it goes, 20th verse. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. See? So that's what's going on. So yeah, that's right. That's another one. A little leaven if the whole lump. So hey, look, this is not a cult in the sense of how the world views a cult, because a cult means nothing more than worship. Cult is not a bad word, but the world views it as a bad word, some creepy, zombified thing that they view it as. But this is not a cult in the sense of how the world views a cult. If you want to leave, you can leave. You're not held in handcuffs in this thing. You're not held at gunpoint at this thing. You want to leave, you can leave. You don't have to stay in this thing, But just know that you're giving up your salvation, because time and time again we see what the barbarian horde from Chicago. What was the other guy's name? Started with a B, with a ba. Bataks. The Bataks and the Sarges and the Flat Earthers. And all them different other guys that fell away. Where are they? The scriptures say that the house of David shall wax stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul weaker and weaker. There was an individual that was in a San Francisco camp that now that all this stuff is going on, I heard he was calling brothers in LA. But when he fell out, question of the day. But what's up now? Why are you calling brothers? Because they see the prophecies coming. So that's the foolish virgins trying to get that oil back. So, we ain't upset. Look, you want to leave, you can leave. This is not a cult in the sense of how the world views a cult. You're not held at gunpoint. You're not, told you can't, if you want to leave, you can leave. And this is why the scriptures say count the cost. So you got individuals that get into this thing that don't understand what the hell is going on. They just in it because, oh, wow, this is just something to do. The YouTube and the internet is a new thing. Well, it's not really a new thing, but it's something to get into. People become famous on YouTube and all that. So it's something, it's a movement to get involved in. Jake always wants to get involved with a group thing. And then they get involved, and then before they know it, they knee deep in the shit, and they don't understand what they're in. And then it's, whoa, I didn't sign up for this. It's too late. Once you get involved in this thing, this is a lifetime commitment to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, not to us. Shit, we trying to make it out of here. We ain't made it out of here yet. We're trying to make it out of here. That's why we're giving diligence to make our calling and election sure. But the thing is, look, if you are a part of Great Millstone and you don't agree with the doctrine, instead of trying to change the doctrine, just leave. Take the name off, leave, and then teach what you want to teach. But remember, you're gonna have to answer for that. I'll leave it with this last precept that just came to mind. And this is how you know that they're none of Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai told the disciples, look, don't worry about it. If they're not, let them teach. Because if they're not against me, they're for me. Or something along those lines. So if an individual is teaching the same doctrine that we're teaching, but they just don't follow us, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And even if they leave this thing and keep teaching the word, because of whatever differences or reasons, and they keep teaching the word the same way, then the Lord can have mercy on them and save them because they're teaching the word. But the majority of times guys leave this thing, which has been so far, I could say, damn, 95 to 99%, once they leave, they end up teaching some bugged out doctrine. 1 John 2:19, they went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us, but they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us, because you have men crept in unawares. You have spies. You have the spies that know that they're spies, and then you have the spies that pretty much work for Satan. So hey, at the end of the day, we ain't upset. If you find that this is not for you, hey, either two things. You could pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to take that spirit off you and return you back to the right spirit, or you could just leave. You're not held at gunpoint at this. But don't go around trying to teach because you see what happened. The Apostle Paul sick Satan on them guys because they were trying to teach a different doctrine. Let me get this one more. I'm not sure exactly where it is, so just bear with me. I believe it's in 1 Corinthians 15, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe it's a little further up. Let's see. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me try it this way. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Let's see. Res. No, I'm spelling it wrong. Res. I thought it was resurrection. Yeah, resurrection. It's not coming up. Okay. Let's try it here. Resurrection. Nope. I guess I'm spelling it wrong. Spare me 1 second. Ah, that's what it is. I did spell it wrong. It's 1 S and 2 R's. That's what it was. My bad. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can find this. Here we go. 2 Timothy 2:18. It says, but shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness, and their word will eat as doth a canker, which is cancer, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus. Why? Because the word that they were teaching was eaten away like a cancer, because it was a cancer. It was a seducing spirit that caught hold of these individuals, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus, who concerning the truth have erred. See, you have individuals out there that concerning the truth have erred. And how do you know that they erred? Because once they go down that road, they never come out of that. And they don't prosper. They wither away like that branch. Like Yahushua said, if the branch doesn't remain on the tree, what happens? It's going to wither. And that's why he said, if you don't remain in Yahushua, you're going to wither. And it's not just saying the name Yahushua. It's actually doing what Yahushua said and teaching the doctrine of Yahushua. Who concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrow the faith of some. See? And this is what's happening. So you have these individuals that come up with these new wayward doctrines and start swaying the minds of certain individuals. And that's why a bunch of guys got taken out. The same thing with the flat earth thing. There were more individuals that got caught up into that flat earth thing. You see? Some of them, the Lord, I guess the Lord had mercy on certain individuals, and others he didn't. He got rid of them. It says, nevertheless, the foundation of the Most High standeth sure, having this seal: the Lord knoweth them that are his. And them that are his, what happened? The scriptures say that they will not be swayed by this. You know, it says that, what is that? Matthew 24. I can't think of the exact quote, so I'm just going to it. Matthew 24 and 24. It says, for there shall arise false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. And you have these individuals that speak with great swelling words. They speak these charismatic speeches. You know, they've built this cult of personality to where when people see them, they're in awe. You know, reminds me of the movie The Warriors. The guy that played Cyrus, you know. They said, you know, that even when they were doing the movie, he said the guys that were in the audience that were part of the movie, they were in awe of his speeches and the way that he was able to put the words together. You know, even though it was a script, but the way that he would speak and his presence, you know, and his personality and the way that he, you know, that he took those words and put them together and was so charismatic with it, they were like in awe of this guy, you know. And that's the same thing that happens now. Why do you think they set up, you know, guys like the Hitlers and the Martin Luther Kings and the different other individuals like that, and they write speeches for them, but they take these speeches and they make them their own. Just like when you have the actors that do these movies, that's a script that somebody else wrote, and they taking the script that somebody else wrote and bringing it to life, you know, with the abilities of them to do that. You see? So these individuals that are false messiahs and false prophets, in other words, they're false anointeds, you know, and false prophets, they have a way with words. It says, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But you won't be able to deceive the elect. Why? Because they are the elect. Nevertheless, the foundation of the Most High standeth sure, having this seal: the Lord knoweth them that are his. And let every one that nameth the name of Yahushai depart from iniquity. You see? So you gotta avoid them. Like, I'll leave you with this last one. I know I keep saying that, but hey, the Spirit got me rolling. So Romans 16 and 17. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them. Because we already went through, if you give them admonition, after the second admonition, you got to leave that man alone because they're subverted. Just like I remember speaking on the phone, the Elder Mwatazaka called me with one of those flat earth dudes. You know, we were talking back and forth on the phone, and I was telling him, hey, brother, don't you know the scriptures say that the time will come where they will not endure sound doctrine, they will give heed to seducing spirits. But it's like he didn't even hear what I said. He was just so glazed with that flat earth thing that he didn't even hear what I said. You know? And then, you know, we were going back and forth. And even Mwatazak said, he said, look, I listened and I saw the Spirit warning this guy several times. But he just wasn't receiving it because he was seared with a hot iron at that point. You know? So, hey, what, you know, it is what it is, you know? It says, for they that are such serve not our Lord Yahushua, but their own belly. And a lot of times you see these guys doing that is because they want some kind of recognition. You know? Oh, look what I came up with. That was the eggheads and the different individuals back there like that. You know, so look what I did. Look what, I found this out. See, I confounded the elders or the apostles. You know, it's not about that. It's about teaching the word. You know? It says, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple, because you have a lot of individuals out there, even in Great Millstone, that are simple as hell, that don't have a clue of what the hell is going on. And this is why when something comes out, they just go like the wind. They're like that kite in the wind. You know, you're just a straw in the wind. A straw in the wind. Inside joke. You know, but that's what's happening. But we already knew that these things were going to happen because the scriptures tell us. You know, so, I'm going to leave it there because, like I said, this is just a short, supposed to be shorter than this, but the Spirit wanted me to go longer. Concerning GMSTrinidad, there's certain individuals from two camps. From what I understand, it's 10 individuals, but I don't know the full details. But we will find out shortly, Lord's will, before the end of the day. The brother do the video, and then I can upload it here and find out exactly what's going on. So, that's the deal. They're teaching contrary to the new moon and the Sabbaths that we're teaching, and they're saying that we're teaching it wrong and they're teaching it right. So why do you still have GMS on your name? You know, if we're wrong, why would you want to associate yourself with GMS if we're wrong according to you, which we believe that we're right? You know, and like I said, you can go through the scriptures and you can get into the new moons and how the new moon is a Sabbath and how the new moon is the beginning of the month, and how, you know, King Saul, when King David was missing on the new moon, he said, oh, he must be unclean, because a new moon was a high holy day. You know, it was a Sabbath. So with that, you know, I pray that you brothers have been edified. Hey, just stay focused, man. When you running a race, everybody, you know, especially a marathon, everybody doesn't make it. You have people that stop at the last couple of miles. You have people that stop right at the beginning, in the middle of it, at the end. You know, not everyone makes it to the finish line. You know, and this is why it's a steady race to the finish line. You know, and through the inspiration and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakwadash, we will continue trudging along until we get to the finish line. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. You know, keep your eyes open, be circumspect, you know, see what's going on. The Spirit allowed us to go out on the streets. Yesterday we did speak at the camp, which was beautiful. You know, and, you know, just keep on striving until the end. And like the video that I did before, business as usual until, you know. So if you could go out on the street teaching, go ahead, you know, but just be wise, be circumspect, you know. If not, keep on teaching in the avenues until we can't teach no more. And after that, guess what? Then the Lord has to step in and do his thing, because after that, it will be out of our power, out of our hands. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. To the next time I say shalom. I don't know the full details, but we will find out shortly, Lord's will. Before the end of the day, the brother do the video, and then I can upload it here and find out exactly what's going on. So, you know, that's the deal. They're teaching moon and the Sabbaths that we're teaching, and they're saying that we're teaching it wrong.